All right, here's the intermediate desk or chair workout. So what you're gonna need, your bands, mini band, regular exercise bands, and then your bottles or whatever you're using to add some external resistance. So we're gonna start out by getting warmed up. So remember that this distance between the ribs and hips, we always want that little lordotic curve or neutral curve in the low back, so we don't want to be in this flexed around posture. With good posture, then just kind of take a gauge from your ribs down here to your hips. That area should not get any smaller, should not get any bigger through any of the exercises we're doing. So when in doubt, just bring the posture up tall, not backwards, think tall, and work to bring the shoulder blades back. So we're going to start with marching and just get up nice and tall. Make sure we're moving through the hips. So what I don't want to do is use my back to move the leg. What I'm going to do is use my hips to move the legs. So up, and you're just going to march for 1 minute. Side view. Back and forth for 1 minute. All right, for the thoracic spine, upper spine, or twisting, one of the things we want to do is elevate the position of your feet. So when we can get your knees above waist height or hip height, it's going to lock down the low back so that we're not moving from there and we're forcing or trying to drive the movement from the thoracic spine. So my chair is nice because I can simply prop my feet up. Maybe it's finding something to put your feet on. Whatever works, we're just trying to get your knees up higher than your hips. So from here, I'm going to go hands behind my head and then rotate as far as I can one way and then as far as I can the other way. Now, once I've done 6 total, then I'm going to turn, straighten my arms, and reach down and then up with the forward arm. And then come back here and rotate the opposite direction, straighten the arms, back arm goes down, forward arm goes up. And then you're going to do 2 to 3 of those each side. All right, seated jumping jacks. Make sure I don't smack the table, make sure you don't hit your desk either. So what we're going to do is basically jumping jack, but don't go in and out with the feet. Get far enough on your chair that it's legs out, legs in, legs out, legs in. So we're going to do this for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. All right, we should be warmed up. Let's start getting into some of the strength stuff. So we're going to use the chair, sit to stand. So quick view on the side. This is everybody's tendency going up, and then the lumbar spine's in flexion, not really good on the discs. So we're going to maintain that posture, hinge from the hips, and then come up, and then we're going to hinge from the hips to take ourselves back down. So we've progressed through this off of the beginner, if you tried that one. So to add a little bit of resistance, take your bottles and then hold them at shoulder height. And front view. I always want to make sure that your knees don't buckle inward. So there's a big tendency for people to come up like this. So we're going to make sure your knees stay lined up with your ankles the whole time. Hinge forward through the hips, neutral low back, and then up tall, and then back down. Now you can also try to add some resistance with your band by placing it under your feet, holding it in the goblet position. What this gives you is something you can push out against with your knees and then hinge up, hinge back down, hinge up, hinge back down. Side view. So you're going to do anywhere from 10 to 15 reps, and you can do anywhere from 2 to 3 sets of that. All right. So push-ups, and normally when I say that, everybody thinks, oh, we're going right to the floor. But the desk provides a nice alternative because of the height. So it's changing the angle a little bit. So we're going to go with the desk push-up. Now, as you go down, where your hands are positioned, your chest should line up midline there. Meaning, if I'm too far back, I'm at my shoulders. If I'm too far forward, I'm at my belly. Nice straight body line. We're going to get the crook of the elbows forward. And then keep your elbows tucked in. We're only going to go down till your elbow is even with your shoulder. So I do not want your elbow getting behind your shoulder. And my chair is actually a nice little block here for that. So my range is here. So shoulder width, tuck your elbows in. That's your motion. And then let's say for whatever reason, That's a little too easy for you. Now we can bring the chair in. So as soon as we start dropping the body angle down, it's going to make it harder. Obviously, if you've got them on the floor, go ahead and do them on the floor. So you're going to do 2 sets or 2 to 3 sets, anywhere in the 10 to 15 range for the push-ups. All right. So now we're going to go with a bicep curl to a press. So here it's going to be easier to use your water bottles. And we're going to curl, press, and back down. Curl, press, and back down. Side view. So make sure you keep your shoulder blades back, elbows at your sides. Curl, press, and back down. So you're going to do anywhere from 10 to 15 repetitions and 2 to 3 sets of that. All right, our knee extension, we're going to add a little element to this. So up nice and tall, neutral low back position. Make sure we're not moving through the spine. So we're going to extend the knee, lift the leg, bring it down, and then bend. So straighten, lift, back down, and then bend. So you're going to go anywhere from 10 to 15 reps on each side, and then anywhere around 2 to 3 sets of that. Now with your row, we're going to go back to your band. And as you go through this, change in and out your tension level. I'm not trying to get the perfect workout right now. So use whichever band feels more appropriate. So going around the feet, cross the band, keep nice tall posture, and then hinge forward, and then just going to alternate. 1 arm row, 1 arm row. Now I'm keeping my shoulder away from my ear, so I don't want to pull here. Any sensation above your shoulder blade or going into your neck is not something that we ever want. So the side view. Under your feet, cross the band. Find good posture for your low back. Then hinge over. And just think, keep the elbows low, keep your shoulders low. So you're going to alternate, and I'll give you a broad range. It can be 10 to 20 total repetitions total, and you're going to do anywhere from 2 to 3 sets of this when you do your workout. Now the next one is going to be for your shoulders. It's probably going to be easier to show you from the back side. Your position is going to be here, but the key is moving through your shoulder blades. So the first thing we're going to do is go straight back 5 to 10 times. Then we're going to go on an angle. So we don't need to be on a steep angle. And then we're going to pull on the diagonal 5 to 10 times, and then the opposite diagonal 5 to 10 times. So notice that my movement is shoulder blades apart, shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart, shoulder blades together. So a quick shot from the front. And then the angle, again, this is plenty. 5 to 10, and then the other side, 5 to 10. 2 to 3 sets of that. All right, now getting your chair out of the way, we're going to work on some single leg balancing here. And we're going to throw a little trick in to make it work a little bit better. So some of balance is just simply proprioception, these little receptors, where are you in time and space. Other parts are muscles kicking on when they're supposed to kick on. So outside of the proprioceptive part, which we'll just get better by practicing it, we want to make sure we've got the foot and the hip are going to play a big role in this. So to go into single leg, I'm going to take the opposite leg and bring my knee up above waist height. And that's actually going to give me more stability because it's engaging the opposite side hip. So we're going to go up and then ideally hold this for about 30 seconds and then repeat on the other side. Now let's say that's not exciting and you want to spice it up a little bit. Take your bottle while your leg is up, then hand it around the back, come back to the front. Go 3 times around one side and then go 3 times around the other. So that's just a nice way to constantly shift your center of gravity. Your body's going to have to respond more. If you can't stay on one foot for 30 seconds, you probably don't need to go to that version. All right, now let's start cooling it down. So first thing we're going to do, take your arm into the handcuff position as they call it. Nice and tall, chin back, and tilt your ear to your shoulder. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, come back up, and then repeat that on the other side. And tilt, hold for 20 to 30 seconds, and then come back up. So you can do that 2 to 3 times. Again, on the mobility stuff, if you find something that just, oh, that feels good, by all means, do that as much as you want to do it. I don't think any of us put enough mobility practice into our worlds in general. So if you have the time and something feels good, please do more of it. All right, from there, we're gonna go standing, prop your foot up, and then make sure that you hinge from the hips. So all too often what I see is this dumping through the spine. And what we should do is keep that nice neutral lumbar position and then hinge at the hips. So I have pretty darn good range, and right now I'm getting a pretty darn good stretch. So it's not that you need to have your foot up on a table. All that does is typically encourage poor posture in the idea of being in a stretch instead of aligning ourselves properly and actually getting the stretch. So this one we're gonna go ahead and take and prop your foot up, and this can be anything that you have access to. So I'm demoing with what I've got, but just anything that you have that would do the same. So propping my foot against it. Now I'm gonna go hands behind my head, shift into a stretch, so I should feel the hip flexor, and then I'm going to turn towards the up leg, straighten my arms, and then reach down with the back arm, up with the forward arm, come back, and then come out of that, and then repeat that on the other side. And then back down. All right, and then to finish it up, let's go ahead and get some breathing in. So remember, with our breathing, we're talking about diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing. So imagine a glass pitcher, you're filling it up with water, you see that water rising from the bottom. That's the image I want you to have as you're bringing oxygen in, lifting it from the bottom and then coming up. So we're gonna do an 8 count breathing in through the nose, and at a minimum an 8 count of the exhale through the mouth, ideally 10, maybe 16 on the exhale. So what we're trying to do is get all that CO2 and stuff out of the body and bring in more oxygen. So we're gonna go in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you exhale, get all of that air out of you. And if it helps you, you can put your hand on your belly and feel that rise first. So somewhere around 5 breaths, and then that will conclude your workout for the intermediate or advanced chair and desk process.